Hello and welcome to the LA premiere of Homestead. We are here on the red carpet where we just interviewed a bunch of cast and crew, and we're going to show all of those interviews to you here shortly.
And for those of you that have not already purchased tickets to see Homestead, you still can. Go to angel.com/homestead. And if you don't see the movie in a theater near you, just reach out to your local theater and tell them you want to see it.
And right now is actually the perfect time to get your tickets because it is still the day before the movie officially releases, meaning if you pre-order your tickets, you're entered into the Homestead Giveaway. This giveaway is where you have a chance to win everything you see on screen right now. It's pretty much a mini homestead. It's really, really cool. If you want to read the rules and regulations, go ahead and scan that QR code right there, and it'll take you there. But it's really, really cool. Get your tickets now.
Well, we are just so excited to jump into things. Please enjoy these interviews.
I am Ben Smallbone, and I am the director of Homestead.
Ben, what was it about this genre that drew you in? Or the film, the script, any piece of that?
Yeah, so I have been fascinated with apocalyptic end times thrillers since I was a teenager. Me and my brother Joe, literally every other month it seemed like in the 90s, Left Behind was coming out, or Left Behind 3 was coming out, or Omega Code. There was all of these films about the revelations and the end times, and it started kind of this fascinating journey of wanting to help tell these stories, because honestly, they were all terrible. And so for decades, I dreamed about getting the tools and experience to be able to help bring those kind of stories to life. And then about 2 years ago, Jason and Ben Kasica, co-showrunners, came to me and said, "Hey, what would you think about telling this story?" And I was initially hesitant about it. I wanted to read the script. I wanted to read some books. I wanted to research a little bit because I was tired of people's clothes disappearing and trying to figure out how to survive the tribulations. Those stories have been told numerous times. But what I found with Homestead was it was this really unique spin of those stories, the kind of end times. And it was about family and community coming together, and that really, really excited me.
You did a great job. It's an amazing film. I do have a question. So I've met quite a handful of your cast, and there's such a bond there. They're all so nice and such good friends, and I'm wondering, what do you think about, what was it about maybe set, or did you help at all with kind of cultivating that environment where they could all trust each other like that to be fully themselves?
Yeah, so I have a saying, I don't think I coined it, but you can't buy passion. And no matter how much you pay somebody or how little you pay them, you've got to figure out ways to get them passionate about the story. And one of the ways we do that is, we do dinners. We did family dinners together. I don't know if any of them told you that, but a lot of the cast, we would do family dinners together weekly. We would all get together and share a meal. And I'm telling you, you share a meal with anybody, there's an instant bond that's created amongst those people. And so we did that weekly. Beyond that, we try, and when I say we, all the producers, Jason, Kasica, Andrea, we all just try to create a family atmosphere on set. We got kids running around. There's, spouses are welcome to come and visit the set. And so that creates this desire of, doing life together and sharing our issues and going through our problems. And the hope with this has always been long-term. It wasn't just a movie. It wasn't just meant to be 2 episodes in a series. We want to do this for years and years to come. So we better like each other. And so we were very, I should say, specific about who we brought into the family because we wanted to make sure that we worked well together.
That's amazing. Well, from the outside perspective, it's felt. I can see it. That's amazing. Great work. My last question, well, I have 2. One's really short, though. But what is it that you hope people will take away from this film?
What do I hope people take away from this film? I think there's a few things. One, I hope people take away, I don't want people to misinterpret the message of the film being we need to be living in fear, because that would be a miss. I think there's an element of our faith where we're called not to live in fear. We got to live in faith. But at the same time, being prepared for the worst takes away some of that fear. And so I think preparation and understanding how to take care of yourself and how to take care of your community and your loved ones if something, God forbid, did happen like this is an important message that I hope people hear. But beyond that, I hope people are able to have conversations about community and taking care of each other and loving your neighbor. It's easy to love your neighbor when you have a comfy bed to sleep in and unlimited resources and gas stations or grocery stores that are open. But what happens when all of that's taken away? What if all the comforts of this world are taken away? And what we find in the movie and in the series is that like beautiful joy comes from living in community with other people, bringing your family close, raising animals, growing crops, living kind of the way of the past, kind of embracing the foundations of this great country. And, I hope people see that through the story as well.
Hey, I'm Ben Cassica. I'm one of the showrunners of Homestead, the film and the television show. And this is my wife, Caitlin, and she's one of the producers as well.
And when it comes to Homestead, what drew you to this type of movie, this post-apocalyptic or apocalyptic film?
Yeah, so I met a guy named Jason Ross about 2 years ago and saw this book on his shelf, and I'm like, that's interesting. And he's like, oh, I wrote that a few years ago. It did pretty well. And I just was very intrigued by this idea of what if a nuclear bomb went off in America, what would happen? And so the more we got to know the story, the more we talked, and we met Angel Studios right around that same time, actually, and we thought, I think there's a really interesting partnership happening here. And so love this idea of the themes of community, people coming together. Most post-apocalyptic movies, there's zombies, there's just death and destruction, and while we have some action and thriller and things like that within the film, the theme of community and people coming together and sharing just really stood out to us, right? Like in a post-apocalyptic movie, that's really odd. And so that was actually intriguing. We thought maybe there's an angle here from a story standpoint that could be unique to tell.
And when it comes to, as producers, you guys have been with the film since the very, very beginning. Are there any stories or instances during the filming or the pre-production or anything that have been very interesting that you'd like to share?
Wow.
I mean,
What comes to mind?
there's so many things, but I think that, excuse me.
You tell that story about the miracles of the footage.
Oh, yes. Something in my throat. There are miracles in the footage, I would say. So, well, I was actually going to say something else, though.
You go ahead.
I know. I'm like, what I was going to say is that I feel like people want to make movies and make content and get to do something like this, right? And it's all about get to the top and what's the next movie. And I think something that has been just amazing with Homestead is that there's a community of people that are a part of this. And I feel like people say that, but for us, it's like the reason we have so many people here right now is because our cast has become like a family. And it's not just our cast, it's our crew, it's working with the Angel team. Like, we want to do stuff together. I've heard that we might be some of the most involved people on the Angel team. And we're so excited.
A very popular film genre is apocalyptic film. What do you think Homestead adds to that genre, or what do you think those fans will enjoy when it comes to Homestead?
I think this idea of a family action thriller film and show, again, film leading to a television show, supposedly has never been done. We'll see. But that idea, I think...
What makes the show special? The Cassicas. Bye-bye.
The cast, the crew. No, we had amazing cast. Something about the story that most post-apocalyptics are like death, destruction, and yes, that's part of this, that's the whole genre, but families coming together, survival together, that idea is kind of flies in the face of like most other post-apocalyptic shows. So it was exciting for us to see, to communicate, Angel's all about amplifying light. We believe, by the end of this film, you're like, I see what they're doing, and you'll start to see those things kind of trickled throughout the series as well.
And of course, the question of the night is...
Who are you wearing?
yeah. Why should people go see Homestead?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, what?
Well,
Why
Homestead
not?
for the holidays.
Hello?
Homestead for the holidays, right?
Why wouldn't you go see Homestead? Hello? Look at the world we're living in right now. I mean, I feel like in some ways we're kind of living Homestead. Even a few weeks ago, I'm like, are we becoming Homestead in real life?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you go see it? It's an amazing film. It's with Angel Studios, and it amplifies light, and it's really awesome. It's action-based. It's a thriller. You got Neil in it right here. I mean, what else do I say? Right?
It's a very timely film right now, right? With the state of everything going on in the world, in America, it it sheds light on a lot of issues that are happening in today. And even when you talked about survival, like literally 2 weeks ago, we lost power right here in LA. For 2 days, we didn't have power, and so we were homesteading for 2 days. It was tough, but we pulled in some of our brand partners' products, and we're like, okay, we came together. But we had a lot of friends reaching out, like, hey, what can we do? What can we do? And it was a tiny example of homestead being this like. It's the state of the union right now, and so I think it provides a lot of answers for people that are looking for hope in the midst of chaos.
This is the amazing Reve McDonough, executive producer of the film, love of my life, partner in crime, and all great things that come with it. We're so proud to be here for Homestead. What we built right from the beginning, starting this whole project together 2 years ago or so.
Yes.
And now here we are. It has come to fruition, and the Angel fans, we will not let you down because this is something really special.
When the Ross family and the Kasica family came to us, we introduced them to the Angel family, and together we have created Homestead. We helped cast it. They have really, like Neil and I always say, we can create a baby, but they helped this baby to crawl, walk, and run. So
Now
here
it's
we
gonna
are
start running. I can't
with
wait.
Homestead, and we cannot wait to see this baby take off.
Well said. Well, there are certain tenets that the McDonoughs live by: God first, me second; family first, me second. In this, when my character is really called upon, what is the most important thing to you in life? And is it yourself, or is it helping mankind? And it's just a really great question that we all have to grapple with it at some point in our lives.
The struggle to put others first before you.
That's right.
Yes.
Isn't that the Christian way of living? So to make a film like this that talks exactly to that is an important piece of filmmaking that really hasn't been done in a long time. And generally, when you see a post-apocalyptic film, it's about zombies, or it's about really dark things. This is about the human side of what would you do if a bomb happened and no one had anything, and this one guy up on the mountain has it all.
And for Angel Studios, that is what they want to portray. It's putting others before yourself and doing the right thing. So this is one that we're really proud of, and to be with Angel Studios.
We're so proud to be with Angel. Go Angel!
Yeah!
Shift. Homestead. The last
rodeo!
Yeah,
Yes.
the next project is my favorite project I've ever done, because not only did I write it, I co-produced it with Reve, and Reve was my first screen
I'm
partner
Reve.
ever, my darling Reve. So we're on screen together. This was truly our baby, The Last Rodeo, and now to see the teaser just came out this week, and the support that Angel Studios has for our baby is just immense and incredible, and it's so humbling.
The Last Rodeo is about seeing someone fail so hard and seeing them get back up, and many in the world can relate with that. Just the human aspect to all of us having failures and sinned, but rising again through Christ, and that is what the Last Rodeo is for us.
Well said. Well, you're good at this. That's good.
He pays me well. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, my name is Donna Olivieri, and I play Jenna Ross.
And you've worked on Yellowstone, House of Lies, Vampire Diaries, and so many other amazing projects. What drew you to Homestead?
Say it again?
What drew you to Homestead?
What's my what?
What drew you to Homestead?
Oh, what drew me to Homestead? Oh, okay. Drew me. Yeah, it's okay. You know what? I saw a really early trailer, and it was that trailer that got me, because I really love a post-apocalyptic story across the board, right? Who doesn't? I feel like it's one of those things, if you tell somebody, they go, oh, what's Homestead about? And you say, it's a post-apocalyptic, and they're like, oh, I love that. They're like, I didn't even say anything else. But I think people intrinsically love to kind of to mull over who would they be in that scenario? How resourceful do they think they could be? Who's their crew going to be? What are they going to be good at? How are they going to survive? Everyone thinks they're going to survive. Let's just be honest. Most of us would not, right? I think it's a pipe dream, but watching shows like this gives you a chance to maybe formulate some of that fantasy, and maybe let's hope it stays a fantasy, right? But if it didn't, then maybe a show like this would have taken you a little farther down the thinking trail. And who knows, maybe you come up with a plan how to get to your parents' house just because you watch this show. Because it's honestly the fact that the homestead is a true and actual place that has a real roster of people that are already ready to go. Even that alone makes you feel like you're severely behind. Seriously though, right? Right? Oh my God. Yeah.
Was there any part of your character, Jenna, that came very naturally to you? And was there any parts that came a little more unnaturally?
So Jenna, for me, has a lot of parallels just as a human and in her belief structure. You know, there's a line in the movie where she says, "I bet it all." And that line for me is so true. I'm doing that in my real life. I am Jenna in my real life. The way that she believes, how much faith she has. I mean, in my real life as Dawn, a human being, I operate on so much faith, so much. I mean, my mantra word is full trust. And I remind myself of that all the time because when times get difficult, I have to remember that there's a divine architecture at play. And once I realize that, once I remind myself of that, I can relax and surrender into whatever is happening because I know that at the end of it all, it has my best interest at heart. And I believe that, so it is. Parts that are not like me as Jenna. You know, I think Jenna as a character arc starts off very, maybe I would say powerless. It might not be the right word, but I think in a relationship with a strong patriarch, as a woman, it sort of takes a little power away from you, but because it's like a balance, right? So in my real life, that's not my reality. I'm very masculine in my life. I have a lot of things that I do and business that I create and run, and so that sort of maybe deeper femininity is more of a, maybe I have to cultivate that for the character. It's in me. I don't practice it actively right now. Yeah.
And why should people go see this film?
Oh, I don't think I have to tell anybody to go see it. It's like I said, all you gotta say is post-apocalyptic film about, and they're like, I'm in. Where do I go? Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so we'll just have you introduce yourself and who you play in the film.
Hi, I'm Karen Giovanni, and I play Tara Erickson in Homestead.
What was it about this film that really drew you in and made you want to be a part of it?
I think for me, someone just asked about apocalyptic films, and they're usually about one person or one family that's trying to, move themselves into safety, but really this is about trying to move everyone into safety and trying to make sure that everyone is taken care of, and I think just that shift really just made it special for me. And all the other stuff is really fun, obviously wielding guns and things like that, and it's super, super fun, but this was a little different. Yeah.
We'll come back when we're doing the cash shot.
Was there anything about creating this film that just changed you in any sort of way? Like, what did you take away from this film as you were acting in it?
I think with every piece you take a little bit of something away. I think working with this particular group and having little children is different on a set. There's something really special about holding them dear in such a weird environment, when they're, they have to be adults. And so having them kind of nearby and close to me reminded me of having my own children, and I do, but mine are much older. And that was it was special for me, just having them on set, and they're super sweet. I'm actually staying with Georgie's family when I go to the Utah premiere, so we're going to have a slumber party and hang out. So yeah, that was really special. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Hey, I'm Bailey Chase, and I play Jeff Erickson in Homestead.
Awesome. And your character is based on a real-life veteran. What was that like? Were you able to chat with the veteran and get his idea on the character and everything else like that?
Yeah, it was. So for those of you who don't know, Homestead is loosely based on a series of books called Black Autumn, and it was co-written by Jeff Kirkham, and the other one is Jason Ross, who helped create Homestead. And when I got the job offer, I flew to Utah, and the first thing I did was hang out with Jeff. I wanted to spend as much time with him. I wanted to talk to him about all the things. He didn't write the screenplay, but I had a lot of questions about it. And Jason just kind of steered me over in Jeff's direction, and it was great. Just kind of being in his presence and talking to him about not just his past experience, but hypothetical situations that happen in the actual story, and just really helped me ground the performance.
And playing a character in an apocalyptic film, I'm sure it can be extremely stressful and all that other stuff, but was there any part of the film that you brought into your own life, as in like, oh, what would I do in this situation?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm a husband and a father to 3 young kids, and it doesn't take much to imagine something like that happening. And again, like we're not trying to scare anybody, but it is a very real possibility that this could happen in the world we live in today. And you know, you want to be as ready as you can.
And the apocalyptic genre is a big one. What do you think Homestead? How do you think Homestead stands out from that genre? Is there anything unique about Homestead in the apocalyptic genre of films?
Well, in comparison to like a Walking Dead, for example, we don't have the zombies. You know, it's a real life show based in reality, in a future that it wouldn't take that much. It's not a big leap of faith to be like, oh, that actually just happened, and now we need to react to survive.
And finally, of course, the question of the evening is, why should people go see Homestead?
People should go see Homestead if they want to bolster their faith, if family is important to them, if they're interested in seeing a story about people overcoming obstacles and doing the right thing anyway, then this is a movie for them.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Olivia Sanabia, and I play Claire Ross.
So when you were preparing for Claire, was there any sort of like ritual or anything you had to do to like get in that headspace that is Claire?
I honestly did a lot of gardening research. She has a green thumb. She has a way with agriculture, and I do not. And that's really a lot of her contribution to the homestead. So I was like, okay, I think I need to know my stuff. Yeah.
That's so fun. I would have never guessed. You seemed, I mean, you're natural with the plants.
Thanks. I seemed earthy to you.
So was there anything about this film in the process that because we ask you guys a lot, like, what do you hope that people take away from this film? But was there anything that you took away from creating this film?
Ooh, I love that question. Honestly, I think the film represents togetherness and working together as a community. And that's what I took away from this project was we all worked really hard to make this come to life. It was a lot of hours and a lot of figuring things out to try and make it the best that it could possibly be. And I think we had such a beautiful cast and crew, and it really is represented in the film as well. I think you can feel it.
Thank you for sharing that. So I have 2 kind of fun questions for our social team. They want to know, what is your go-to movie theater snack?
Ooh, my go-to movie theater snack is probably... Oh, this is a really weird answer, because it's not like a snack, it's a drink. Gatorade?
Gatorade.
It's weird. I knew you were going to think it's weird. It's weird, right?
What flavor?
Yeah, I'm not really picky on the flavor. It's the yellow or the green. You know, that's a controversy, but yeah.
I'm a yellow or a blue girl, so I get it. We're close.
Okay. Yeah, close. Very close.
And then can you spoil this movie for me in 1 word?
Intense. Does that spoil too much? No spoiling.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks.
So we have the Baumgartner family here. So what is it like playing an on-screen family?
You guys go. I feel like it was instant family vibes. We've got a couple little brothers as well, and we got along from the first day. Jarrett was immediately our dad, so, well, husband and dad.
Yeah, he's always cracking jokes or just immediate. It was fun.
Yeah.
Dad jokes. That is. Yeah, that's how we do them. Well, they are a family. So the rest of, so there's 2 little boys and these 2, and they are an actual family, and the Mitchells, and they're wonderful. And I just sort of stepped in as like a TV dad, you know? It was like they were already existing. So it was an easy fit, you know? They just had to pretend.
Of course, your family goes through a lot of stressful situations in this film. What was it like acting in those situations? You know, going from a calm state of just, oh, you know, then action, and then you have to like, oh, we're freaking out now. What was that like?
Well, I mean, when the guns came out, especially my little boys were pretty wide-eyed. We're diving for cars. It was pretty cool. It was very fun. It made it feel pretty real.
Yeah, you just got to get in the mindset and think about what it would actually be like. So.
Yeah, the acting thing, getting into character and imagining that this apocalypse scenario is real and that it's really, you're in a desperate situation and you have to take care of your family and you didn't plan for this. Like, you know, like Rick did not know this was coming, you know, obviously. And so I think it's a desperate situation. So what do you do? What would you do? Is the real question. Like, I think each one of us might be in this situation if the apocalypse happened. And that's why I love Rick and I love the family, because most of us aren't planning for this. We're not in the homestead, right? So, yeah.
You really goes to bat for us. You really went to bat for us.
Yeah. I'm willing to sacrifice my relationship with Neil McDonough. Neil McFlippin' Donough. You know? Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And a question for you, Jared. What were some, with your character, Rick, what were some things that you found very natural? And was there any part of the character that you found a little not close to who you are, so you had to stretch a bit?
You know, it's interesting. I actually felt really close to Rick. I think, I mean, I've now planned for the apocalypse. I think since the show, but like, I think I would be very similar to this. I would use all my relational capital. I would be willing to sacrifice all my friendships. I would be desperate because I wouldn't have planned this far in advance, like, because I don't. I live kind of like, you know, minute by minute. So that's the kind of person I am. I let my wife do all the planning. She's my real wife. And so, yeah, I think that desperation was real for me, because I would have, you know, I think I'd find myself very similar to what Rick would do. Yeah.
And final question, why should people go see Homestead? That's the question.
Well, it's really a story of hope. It really tests the humanity in you. When things go down, what will you choose? Will you let them in, or will you keep them out?
Yeah, it's just all about character and about just a good story and a family and friendships and choosing the right thing.
Yeah, I think what you said, Ivy, is like, I think that if your value system if it works in society and in civilization, that's great. But if you don't have that, what is your value system then? And if it works in that case, then it's real. You know what I'm saying? When everything goes away, do I still have faith? Do I still do the right thing? Do I still serve and take care of people that are less fortunate than myself? Then you really got it. If not, then maybe it's not maybe you need to reevaluate. You need to go down to the altar again. That's good. Yeah, so anyway.
Thank you all for your time. Thank you so much.
I'm Kevin, and I play Tick on Homestead.
Hi, I'm Emmanuel, and I play Bing in Homestead.
Hey, I'm Jesse Hutch. I play Evan Lee in Homestead.
Okay, so I would like to know, you know, Homestead follows the story of a family, post-apocalyptic world. I want to know if you guys have put any thought into how you would react in that kind of a situation.
The faith side of me says I would want to try to take care of everybody, but if I'm being real, I'm feeding my family first, and if I have some left over, they're gonna get some too. Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I can second that. I feel like being in Homestead has actually made me realize how unprepared we are. Unprepared as a family. I feel like talking to the town is like, oh, if the apocalypse happens, we're okay. But really, we just got guns and not any food resources, to be honest with you. Yeah. Can't eat bullets.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that term, unprepared, I don't think it shouldn't be said or done in a spirit of fear, but I'm challenged by it. I've been really challenged as a father and as a husband and as a brother to go, am I actually ready for this? And so, yeah, I pray that this project does so well that we can get our own homesteads.
That's right.
I just mean that in a really honest way. Like, woo, come on, Jesus.
Thank you guys for sharing that. If you could take one frivolous, like end of the world, you don't get quite as bougie of a homestead, but you get to take one frivolous item with you. What are you taking?
One?
Like it'd be a warehouse?
Like if I say food, is that too big, broad? But a knife.
Frivolous though, or it doesn't have to be important? Is that what you mean? Something not important.
Well, I'm gonna have other people that provide food, so I'm taking my gun. I need my gun.
Well, I mean, you asked frivolous, so like, yeah. Can I just have like ice cream? It's a lot of ice cream. Like no matter what happens, when I go to my ice cream machine, it's always full of just soft serve ice cream.
We didn't have ice cream in the homestead.
She asked if I could take one frivolous thing.
It's not gonna make it.
We're dreaming.
Refrigerator.
You got everything else you need, but now you're like, okay, what do I want?
I'm gonna take
I want
Jason Orvis.
Yeah.
Jason Orvis.
Yeah.
A second, Jason Orvis. We're gonna take him. Jason, you're with us.
Yeah, please. And a gym. I'd love to have a whole gym like the Dwayne Johnson gym, but it's the Homestead gym.
Yes.
Oh, and Jeff Kirkham. Jeff Kirkham. We would want him. And all of the guns.
Someone asked me a question similar over there. Said, "What's the one thing you take?" I was like, "My wife." Yeah, that's all. Sorry, guys.
Give me it back. I would take my wife and my kid too. Okay.
Yeah, my name is Tyler Lofton. I play Abe Erickson in the movie Homestead and series. Wow, it's crazy.
And of course, this film is an apocalyptic movie. Did it make you kind of reevaluate what you would do in that sort of scenario?
Oh my God, yes and no, because I just bought myself a Tesla, and that when you see the movie, you'll realize why you shouldn't have an electric car. Although, thank you, Homestead, I was able to afford one, and now we're screwed when the apocalypse happens. So that's awesome.
And is there any part of your character, Abe, that came very naturally? Or were there any parts of your character that was a little bit of a stretch?
Nothing was really a stretch. It was crazy. Even talking with like casting and stuff, like when we were casting for the project, it was one of those things where it's like they knew right away that I was their Abe, and I knew right away that I felt like so much more connected to this project than any other project, just because the character and we relate in so many different ways. Yeah, I think everything was so easy. I never really had to like act much, which is it's always like a good thing. Acting is the absence of acting, so not having to act was awesome. So yeah.
And what do you hope people take out of this film? What do you hope they take away from the theater?
Oh my God, I hope they realize that people and community is like that's what keeps the world going. And I hope that they leave the theater and just want to give somebody a hug. That's what I did. I was like, oh, I love you guys. So I hope everybody else kind of feels the same way.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Justin James.
So good to have you, Justin. Can you tell us what you worked on for this film?
So I worked on a song called Almost Home for the film. I'm good friends with Ben Kasika, and he called me and asked if I would write a piece for him, so I did.
Can you tell me a little bit about that music, like the writing process, and did you watch the film, or what did you kind of take inspiration from for the music?
Okay, so I'm a little jelly here because I haven't seen the film in its entirety, but I did get a little clip. I got a little taste to tease, and watching the film, seeing how apocalyptic it was, I was able to come up with something that would fit, and then Ben worked with me as well. He and I should say, co-wrote it. So we kind of spent a little time on Skype, which is old school, right? But it worked out good, and we ended up writing a song. So, yeah.
Okay, so knowing what you've seen from one clip and then the song that you wrote, what are you hoping that song kind of moves people to feel when they end, like at the end of the movie, they're going to walk away after hearing that song. What do you hope kind of they feel from that?
That's a great question. The film, this part of the film seems really dramatic. And so we had to write something that wasn't abrasive and something that would really move on the hearts of the audience. So it's a lower, kind of darker vibe. And I'm hoping that the audience takes away the emotion of the scene.
not really the music itself. That was my job, was to be as hidden in the background as possible instead of being the showpiece. As different as a musician, but that's what works for the film. And so when they leave, I want them to feel like they were moved by the scene and the music was just helping to move that. That's all. Yeah. So.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for talking with me. We're so excited.
It's good to meet you. My name is Colby Strong, and I play Christian in Homestead.
So the first question is, so this movie is an apocalyptic film. What was it like playing a character going through, the end of the world?
I know. I think the cool thing about the project is it really shows your character in the show. Like, it really shows what would you do, who would you be in those scenarios. And I really am proud of my character. I can't give away too much because we speak a lot about his kind of motives in the series. But go and watch the episodes. But he's very much about like share and community, and we need to come together and not hoard. And that's something I personally agree with too. So that's a cool thing to kind of match that kind of motive personally with your character.
No, it's interesting that you were able to internalize that part of your character and be like, what would I do in this situation?
Seriously.
Do you think the audience, the people going to see this film, will walk away thinking, oh, what will I do in this scenario?
That would be really interesting. I hope so, right? Like, that's what we want with art and film, is it can be impactful in that way. And I think people can walk away and go, hey, am I prepared? And not like physically or, hey, do I have enough water? Like, obviously that's important, but also how would I behave in this situation, and would I love thy neighbor type of thing. So I think it's important for us, especially in these kind of tumultuous times, to really understand that, nobody is an enemy and we can all come together and be community.
And of course, one of the questions of the evening is, why should people go see Homestead?
I just think it has a lot of heart, and especially if you connect to a higher power or God, I think that they're really trying to keep it a really nuanced story in that realm. And so if that really connects with you and resonates with you, I think it's incredibly important to go see that. But it's fun, and I feel like we haven't had like a post-apocalyptic movie in a while. So hey, if that's your vibe, come hang out.
That's great. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Mark Lavella. I'm in the film Homestead, and actually, this is our second premiere. I was one of the main casts of the highest Filipino grossing film of all time, called Hello, Love Again. So being Filipino and being able to represent and being a part of this film was so much fun. It was so powerful and so great because but the guy that is in the opening scene with me, his name is Inigo Pascual, he's actually one of the most famous actors in the Philippines as well. So it's really an honor to be here and to be able to be a part of this community and to be a part of Angel Studios.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Can you tell me what it is that you hope people will take away from this film?
I think that the beautiful message of this film is community and resilience, and really being resilient for each other. I think that there's a lot of action films that are post-apocalyptic. There's wham, bam, thank you, man. Let's just like destroy everything. But the one thing that you have to do is, what do you do when after that happens? After all the fun and games happens and all you have is each other? How do you come together? Regardless of your differences, regardless of the color of your skin or where you're from, this is Homestead.
Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
My name's Joseph Snyder.
And you're one of the writers on the film, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I was one of the staff writers on the film and the series.
That's awesome. And what was it like, or I guess the question is, what drew you to this sort of project, this apocalyptic, end-of-the-world sort of project?
Well, I mean, it's pretty exciting stuff, I think, and we all want to know what happens when our society falls apart. What do we do? And I think most of all the writers, what will we do? What do we do? And I think it was a lot of fun just to take the invitation from Jason and Ben and just come and join those guys in helping shape the film and the series a little bit. Just got to contribute some, and these guys are geniuses, so it's a lot of fun and a privilege to help out.
When it comes to putting the character to the page, I feel like since it's such a high stress situation, it being the end of the world and all, that you get to really dive into character development. What was it like writing these characters that were in such a stressful situation?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a writer's dream in a lot of ways. I mean, the more stress and chaos you can give a character, the easier it is to sort of develop tension for them to have to reach toward, and highs and lows. And Jason And Jeff did an amazing job writing the book, so we sort of already had a great foundation and sort of knew where a lot of the characters were going to be because of the great book series that those guys wrote. And so we were able to just jump in, I think, and tailor it for a film and a series. And I think the post-apocalyptic genre is exciting. It's a thriller, there's great family elements, there's great personal ups and downs. I think people enjoy it a lot.
And of course, the question, why should people go see Homestead?
Oh, you should go see Homestead because everybody wants to know what happens. If things melt down, if something goes wrong, what do we do? I think you should see the film because it's exciting. Some of your favorite stars are in it. These guys are handsome, they're beautiful, they're exciting. They're helping one another, they're surviving. I think it'll be a lot of fun for the whole family.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, thank you all so much for tuning in. That wraps up our live stream for tonight. But I just wanted to share something I really enjoyed about the Homestead premiere was we actually had guild members on the red carpet for this premiere. It was the first time I think that's happened. And it was really cool to chat with them and they were able to see their vote come to like an end. The product is actually there. And I thought that was just extremely fun to see.
That was awesome. I got to chat with some of them off the carpet, and it was fun. It was fun to get to know them. I think another thing that I really enjoyed was just getting to meet everybody, all of the filmmakers, the cast, and the crew. Some of the crew was here, and just to see that community that they've built with each other. There must have been something special on set that just really helped them bond. And they're excited to welcome everybody into that community as people go and see the film. So we hope that you'll be able to see it, that you'll join that community. You can get tickets still at angel.com/homestead.
And right now is still the perfect time to get tickets because if you pre-order tickets before the film comes out, you're entered into the Homestead Giveaway. Once again, there's everything on screen, so get them now. Now's the time to get them. But with that said, thank you all for joining us and have a wonderful evening.